What's up, Mortgage Coach community? I am sitting down with KP. What's up, brother?
How are you, man?
Good.
I get to finally be near the pool.
Yeah, right.
The new thing, and I get to witness the clap. This is awesome.
First-hand clap. So guys, this is a first in a lot of different ways. So moved into this new house in Newport, and this is the first one with high-speed internet. Like the AT&T guy was just here.
I just saw him.
Yeah, he was just here, and I'm not going to bash AT&T, but they did no show me twice. But the guy who's here is awesome. It's taken me like 2 weeks to get AT&T high speed fiber. So check. And then this is the first time I've done an interview and created live content out of the new Savage studio. I'm going to call it the Innovation Lab. Now that I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at Mortgage Coach Boomerang.
Congratulations.
You like that?
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. So good. So deserving too.
Yeah,
You are an innovator.
I've tried.
You
I've tried.
made the full transition from suit and tie and Mont Blanc to like tech guru.
Was that like just like 20 years ago, like to the
That's
dot?
amazing.
And the cool thing about that photo was I had started technology the minute it came out. I fell in love with tech because I can't spell. Like literally, I think in 8th grade, I had 3rd grade level spelling skills. And because I am ADD and dyslexic. And so when a computer came out, it was like, oh, I can write and it has spell check.
Right.
I'm like, I'm in.
Well, now
I need that.
Well, now every 3rd grader can be adult intelligence by asking Google.
Right.
I mean, you don't need to learn anything now. Everything
Yeah.
you teach in school, it's all online. You literally just ask a question by voice.
And you can write an email by voice.
100%.
Yeah, no, the world has changed. But yeah, that photo, my wife and daughter found it while we were moving. They found it in the garage. So KP, this is the first time I've interviewed you, right? Like, I mean, we've talked a lot and we've chatted a lot, but this is the first time you've been on the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel.
Yeah, this is the first time on this channel. You and I shared the stage on a panel at SNUG at Simple Nexus User Group about 4 years ago.
Right.
Up in Snowbird. That was pretty cool. That's where we first really got to break.
Pre-COVID.
Oh, 2 years before pre-COVID. That's just a little over 4 years ago. I love the community. You know, that's my favorite thing of what you built. This community right here, and that's what it's all about. A community of originators collaborating, regardless of where they work or what they do, what community they serve. The mission is very similar. And so how do you just lift each other up? And the whole like undercurrent behind it is abundance mindset. And that is what I love about the community that you created. So I've always been watching afar. I've tried to be off of social media more because, you know, I'm going to talk about time and time ROI. And, you know, if I'm not getting value out of it, which I do in your community, but
not all social media is valuable.
Oh man,
most social media is not valuable.
It's killing time. It's wasting time. It's getting into arguing about some political stuff. I have no time for that.
Well, good. That's going to be a topic. So guys, what I thought we would do, and I'm going to see if there's any questions on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube and it's a recording, you can still put comments and questions down below. We'll make sure they get answered. But yesterday, Kristen Messer and I have both worked on definitely the most time I've ever put into a piece of content in the industry, this halftime report. And I don't think Kristen has ever worked harder on a piece of content. We interviewed over 25 executives. Not everybody have we interviewed. I didn't get a chance to interview KP and I would have liked to. So I thought like, I'm going to do another round of interviews called the 2022 halftime report debrief. And the thought on this is that people that are leaders, they're managing and leading large groups of originators. They're making a difference. They're people that I like. They're people that are customers of ours. You guys are both a Boomerang and a Mortgage Coach partner of ours. But I want to find out, one, what was your number one biggest takeaway from the report? And then two, I want to just have you talk about what you think is most important. So before we do that, because this is the first time you've been here, tell everybody, you know, what your role is in the industry and a little bit about how long you've been in the business.
Just a 45-year-old dude that's been in the business 21 years. Started off as a wholesale account executive at First Magnus in Austin, Texas.
Back in the day.
Yep, and then I moved around for all the opportunity and ended up running a great team together in South Florida. And that team has been together with me, creating synergy at 3 companies now. So I moved to California from Fort Lauderdale, where I lived for 13 years. I moved here to Newport Beach 6 years ago. And the 2 founders, Paul Rozo and Robert Holliday, 2 founders of PRMG, Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, they made me their partner. and put me like the role as chief lending officer. I swear to God, they just made up some title. Like, what do we do? Because my whole thing is like, how do you bring harmony between ops and sales? But then when I got here as chief lending officer, I felt like, man, we have a lot of wood to chop when it comes to technology and innovation and, you know, all the things that we're totally aligned on to help save time and create, you know, deal flow for our originators. So that's my role. I'm also a partner, shareholder, so that means I have my hands in a little bit of everything. Got some great teammates. You know, we're around 2,700 employees currently.
Big platform.
3 channels everywhere but New York. It's a lot of fun. So, you know, we have a saying, we're built by originators for originators. So our client is not the builder, it's not the borrower, it's the originator, regardless of channel, right? So we don't get into all the, you know, the stupid channel, you know, turf battles. It's really immature, but you know, they're all served in a different way, and every originator has to find what's best for them. And we serve all of them. So we have to play like Switzerland. So we try not to fight, right? So for us, it's, you know, how do we make our originator better? If they're better and they're served by us, the senior management, we serve our originator. Well, of course, the borrower, the builder, the realtor, everyone's going to have a better experience. And so there's a saying we have in our senior management meetings, you know, there's, you know, KP's getting last word, and I love the last word, right? It's kind of a strategic advantage.
Let's see if he gets the last word on this one.
They say when you're playing Texas Hold'em that position, you know, being the dealer, going last is good. So I had a chance to watch a lot of your debrief and a lot of your halftime reports, and so I'm the first to do the debrief. And I'd say my one big takeaway from watching that, you know, when you look to the list, you sent me the email yesterday. I read the whole blog, you know, just in a few minutes. And then at the bottom, I was like, oh my God, look at all these videos.
Right.
How am I gonna get the
No, I gave all the source content.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Now I usually watch YouTube videos anywhere from 1.5 to 2 times speed. And you just you train your ear to do it, because I'm a time ROI guy. And when you look at the roster of who you've interviewed, I think everyone's first reaction is, this is a who's who. But when you listen to these videos, you know, I listened to Steve Jacobson, Bill Dallas, Shant, obviously you and Kristen, and Sue Woodard this morning, Rich Harris, our new CEO. Your new CEO. I listened to all those just since noon yesterday. The humility at which this who's who operates is what stood out to me the most. You know,
I hadn't thought of that.
Oh my God, you know, we're here to serve. Okay, whether, you know, we're serving our community here as a C-suite owner, I and my senior management team, we're all together serving our originator. And man, you know, you eat a lot of what our CEO likes to say, you eat a lot of shit sandwiches every day, and it's humbling. And you really have to check your ego, and it gets checked, because people don't care. Their emotions are running high on the deal. And so the humility, I mean, Shant Benosian, he's the #1 originator. And that dude could walk around and act like, you know, oh, you're lucky to talk to me. Dude is serving at a high level every day. And it wasn't just him, it was everybody, just the humility at which they all acted. And that was my biggest takeaway, that you really picked some studs, some winners, some really intelligent people with their humble servant approach to this industry.
Wow, I hadn't called that out, but I do know that the best of the best, and I've been recently working on best practices for presentations, because this is a market where the loan officers who don't have great presentation skills, it's showing up in very obvious ways. They're getting rate shopped, their price exceptions are up, they're not gaining market share, and they're getting crushed. And so I speak at a lot of sales rallies, and I have created this best practice list of what are the character traits and the skills of the most successful loan officers at presentation. And servant leadership is coming up as, you know, one of the absolute single cornerstones. And then I do think when you look at success in the mortgage business, while there are some, let's just say, uncool people that have got to high places, the majority of the most successful people in our industry.
That's such a nice way to say it.
Well, yeah. The majority of the people that have got to high places are cool people. They're hardworking, they're humble. They have that, you know, some of that. And then again, I've interviewed thousands of loan officers that close over 200 loans a year, but the best are the most humble. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways? Any other, like, just here, because here's where I like to go is, okay, there's a lot of data points. So we did put data and stats and facts. And then we try to like, here's some opportunities. Like, here's my recommendation that would be valuable to, if a C-suite executives watching this, be valuable to them. And if a loan officer that's just looking to win in this market, any recommendations, any other thoughts?
Well, I have this saying where, we're all working twice as hard to make half as much money. And I know it's not all about money, but it's kind of a math meets time meets ROI way of just summarizing where we're at right now in this industry. And, some people were saying, hey, it's back to basics. Hey, it's emulate the best. Hey, it's try something new. It's, hey, what are you doing with, this new thing, this new that, whatever. So for me, it was the culmination of all that is we're in this transition period. And it's not just within the industry, we're in a down cycle, but I would say within society. There's so much that comes our way. There's so much innovation that's going on, and it's coming at us fast. And it's a lot to digest, And so I feel kind of lucky of where I am in the industry and my age. I feel like there's this coming together right now, harder than ever, of old school and new school. And so when I say, we're working twice as hard to make half as much money, old school CEOs are about ROI on money, right? So if we spend money on Mortgage Coach, or we spend, money on Sales Boomerang, insights and borrower intelligence, what is the money back in return? Can you quantify it? Now, that's what a services industry executive has been trained to do. Rates are up, volumes down, cut staff, save some money, live to fight another day. They're not wrong. They're not going to be wrong. But I've always viewed things in relation to time. So how are we saving time? How are we maximizing time? How are we getting the most value of our time? If I can present a total cost analysis and explain the really tough stuff on a deal, explain my value proposition, explain the loan estimate, which is difficult, especially for a first-time home buyer, and I can condense that, then I'm providing value in a time-efficient manner. So the link there between old school and new school is time is money.
Right.
And so, when I say you're working twice as hard, okay, and getting half as much money, I'm putting it in terms of both time and money. And so for me, being a time ROI guy is a big deal. So
Little C, one of our two dogs, little Savage family. Little C, where's Charlie? Char.
I just got to meet the whole fam bam here. So yeah, for me, time is money is a great segue into, making the most of your time, making the most of providing value. Look, there's still half this industry is taking a loan application over the phone with a borrower and hand typing in the information. Now, is that the best use of time? Is that the best? Do you think Chant Benosian on every single deal he has sits there on the phone and hand types in every single data field on every single application? No way. There's no way. And he's the best, right? So if that's what he's doing, why do we still have over half our industry, I would say, is still operating that way?
Are you saying half the industry is still taking hand out?
Or
loan officer
100 because they haven't tried something new. They also have lots of time, right? If you're doing 1 or 2 or 3 applications a month, then your thought is, I have the time to do that way. And to me, that's how I provide value, is by taking more time. Now, what that person has done is settled on doing that many loans a month. And so what happens in this part of the mortgage cycle, if they're doing 3 loans a month and now they're doing 2
or 1
or even 1. So, and they haven't changed the way they've operated. They look around and go, well, I've always operated like this. It's not my fault. But, changing and trying something new when you have more time in your hands, this is the time to invest in ourselves. This is the time to try something new. This is the time to cut video. So let's take that time ROI thing just one more level deep, and then I'll shut up here, because I could absolutely go on a rant. I had my espresso about an hour ago, so I'm ready to rock, and I can't wait to try the Savage espresso shop. I know it's opening, but Imagine if you had so many leads and prospects in your pipeline that, your value proposition isn't based on price first. So your time value is like, hey, I can charge this, right? I mean, their loan amounts are twice as big as they were 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people that have not changed their LO comp in 5 years. And if they have the deals rolling in right now, and they only have so much time to get to those deals, they aren't having to cut their prices. They don't have excess inventory of time. They don't have to say, hey, I'm doing less because I'm still doing things the way I did it. I need to go find an edge. Maybe I need price as my edge, which is a race to the bottom. And you're not the only one doing it. And trust me, there are massive companies that do that price first better. So you got to try something different to load up your inventory, to get more apps, to create more time, to invest in yourself so you don't have to work for less. You don't have to work twice as hard for half the money. But if you start at that point from a mindset and you do any better than that, you've won this year.
Yeah, no, there's massive opportunity, and multiple executives in my interviews, and I think just about everybody that I interviewed believes that this is a tremendous opportunity to pick up market share, and it's important to start auditing. If you're an originator listening to this, look at, there's best practices that you could be implementing. Taking loan apps with a link is one of those best practices that, if that's not how you're rolling with, for sure, over 80% and over 90% of your consumers, you're not only wasting time, but you're wasting consumer experience. You're not giving the consumer the experience they want, because the majority of consumers want to use a link and do things on their own. By the way, if the consumer doesn't want to, you do need to have the team and the staff or yourself to give the consumer what they want. Just the majority of people speak mobile, and they want to use mobile devices. But we know firsthand at Mortgage Coach, there's some family members that are involved in a decision that want a mobile experience, and there's family members that will drive 30 or 40 minutes to get a piece of paper. And you want to make sure, like, the modern mortgage experience is giving that consumer the experience they want, communicating with the way they want. What are your thoughts on this? I came to some conclusions, and I know I'm now the Chief Innovation Officer of Sales Boomerang, but to me, having borrower intelligence is just a requirement.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure that less than 10% of loan officers, no realtors, have borrower intelligence, but the majority of lenders and loan officers, they don't have that intelligence. And I just feel like, flash forward 3 years from now, you have to have it. Like, it's table stakes to be competitive. And if you want to be the forever lender, you need to be leveraging data, and then you need to be putting advice on that data. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm good friends with Alex and Mark, and we're huge fans. We're going on just in a couple months, we'll be going into our 5th year of business with Sales Boomerang. I've been on stage with that team, and I love how both of your innovative teams are coming together. We have 500,000 records that are being monitored at PRMG on Sales Boomerang. We're huge into data and insights. I'm personally invested in a data science company on the side to try and come up with better lead flow. I'm working with a company out there that's got a great new modern way of using either a banner on social media or a new modern way of using a QR code to pull borrowers in one tap and get their cell phone information and dump that cell phone information into a CRM that the borrower opts in on. That data, those insights are so powerful. But remember, what's great about our business is, like, we're not like slimy people. We're trying to put people in a home.
Right.
We're not trying to sell them like a gym membership that they're only going to use for the first 2 months of the year and then they never come back and you get paid a commission. We're putting a roof over what is it? Air, water,
Shelter.
food, shelter.
Right.
I mean, we're in the hierarchy of needs, and it's just, fantastic what we're doing. So we should really feel good about leveraging the data and the insights that we gather, because we're helping, we're serving, we're building our communities, we're making it better. So yeah, I agree. Table stakes is a great way to put it. Having, I don't know. I honestly don't know anyone who's not on Sales Boomerang and don't know why they wouldn't be. I mean, number one, just right off the bat. I mean, like, we're going into our 5th year, right? And we're like, we're not like this multi-billion-dollar company, But you have to know when the borrowers are looking at things, and then you can be there to serve them when they want to be served and give them a nudge and have them come back to you. I mean, it's so powerful to be present and serve them the way they want, when they want.
No, totally agree. And we're working, we're in the middle of merging Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang. We recently, I think we announced it last week, that we brought on a CEO who's an operator that can help us go faster and go bigger. Because this is the ethos: no borrower left behind. And we want to make sure that every single family understands how money works, understands how mortgages work. And we want to make sure that lenders are able to anticipate the needs of the consumer. We will, over the coming years, be able to literally schedule a loan. Like for you as a lender to know who needs a loan, to present it with a strategy. What are your thoughts on this? I think there's a financial literacy crisis in America.
100%.
We already know that most consumers that are thinking about buying a home don't know what the down payment is. And we also know that people that own their first or second home, they really don't know when is the right time to move up.
Yeah.
And I think, what are your thoughts on this? I'm advocating, and one of the things we're trying to do is get mortgage coaches to go out and at the high school and college level, teach the rent versus own analysis.
100%.
So go beyond the transaction. Everybody should really know how to analyze renting versus owning is just a life skill, a core competency. And then I'm also advocating that mortgage and real estate professionals start putting families through a move up experience. Like if you're going to put someone to a home, start educating them on, well, what are your goals? What is your move up goal? This is how much equity you need. This is how you should pay your mortgage. Literally, like, put a move up analysis together for them as part of your service. So what are your thoughts on just going from I'm taking apps, I'm selling loans, to literally creating services and education around moving up and buying your first home?
Oh, you hit on the head. There is absolutely a crisis for financial literacy, and that holds weight because it's home ownership is not taught the way the experts and mortgage coaches teach it, and it needs to be, and it needs to be ingrained in people's mind early, and that includes all the way to a HECM reverse mortgage. I mean,
right?
You're getting to take out cash and never have a mortgage payment ever again. If you knew what to do with that cash, you would look at your house as an asset and not like, I'm taking out debt. Can't take out debt, can't have a loan or a mortgage. Well, isn't cash king? I mean, I know right now with the inflation crisis, cash is trash, but it's from cradle to grave. And that's why I came up with the 7 Ds, right? So you have diamonds, diapers, debt, divorce. You could say debt after divorce again if you wanted to, but we can't say it twice. Then you have downsizing, and then you have deployment is first, by the way. And you have downsizing and death. But the first one's deployment. We got to put deployment first because that's, we got to serve our veterans before we serve anyone else. But those are the 7 Ds. Those are life events. Every single one of those events, which you get borrower insights from Sales Boomerang, you have a chance to show your financial literacy and your knowledge and serve a community, a borrower on a loan by loan basis. And we have many crises in this country, right? We have a mental health crisis. We've got a debt crisis. We have an inflation crisis, although that's transitory, right? I mean, we have a financial literacy crisis. You're spot on. And all you can do is just take one bar at a time, one approach at a time, one video at a time, and teach that financial literacy and help serve. I mean, every time you see a homeless person, don't you want to give them like, here's $20, go get a meal, man. You want to help them. And you can't help everybody. There's an abundance of people that need help. But if you treat it like a crisis, you're going to always be on. You're going to always be helping. You're going to always be serving in a humble manner because you've got it good. You're in a good spot, and you have something to give back. My entire life. So look, NAMBA, part of NAMBA, they're doing that. They're going into the colleges and teaching financial literacy.
Tony Thompson, you are the man.
He's the man.
He was one of the interviews that was part of the report. Make sure you check out Tony's interview. And remember, guys, we have the transcript. I'll put a link down below.
I'm on their board of governors. We have a meeting a little bit later today and then another one next week. In the MBA in Austin 3 years ago, we spoke to a bunch of college students. They bust in from all around Central Texas to talk about this stuff. Stan Bergen, one of our retail regional managers, he teaches a class at UCLA. I mean, teaching financial literacy is a big deal. And my entire life, I've always felt like if we are looking at Europe and you see the wide wealth gap, there are the haves and the have-nots. Look at how expensive it is to own property there. It's gotten a lot more expensive lately in America, but it's still very affordable. You may have to teach someone to get their starter home, just like they had a crappy starter car. You may have to move outside of town, but when you get to a better spot in life, maybe you can make it to a spot and have a pool like this, but you don't get it right away. You don't get this house right away. You have to work your ass off for what, 3 decades? So
2 years.
Yeah. So, teaching financial literacy and setting expectations, telling people what you look at this as an asset that can provide wealth for your family and give you a leg up, is what we do. And I'll be honest, like the fact that about 2/3 of Americans are homeowners, I would think that it would be less than that. I would think that it would be less than that, but that 64%, 67%, depending on what time we're on the cycle, I think that's a good starting point, but there's still a lot more wood to chop.
There's a lot more wood to chop. There's a lot of opportunity. And while there are some real crises in the mortgage space and housing, there's some golden opportunity, guys. So I hope you will dig into this housing report. Our goal with Kristen and I was to bring leadership and to bring it from a lot of different perspectives. If you do, an executive that wants to be interviewed, I'm going to be doing more of these debrief interviews. So whether you're that executive or loan officer, you want someone on your team to be considered for an interview in this report, put a comment down below, reach out to me personally. Last question. If there was one book, and it could have been a podcast, it could have been some post, it could have been some piece of content, but when you think of all the content you've read, what's created the most value for you? If there was a book or a message or something that's just like, wow, that's value for me.
Well, I like to brief History of Time and Space by Dr. Stephen Hawking. That's a deep read. From Good to Great is a fantastic book, but I like Winning. I think that was a old
Grover?
book by the Jack Welch one.
Ah, that's right.
So Grover, I don't know if he borrowed the title or what, but you read Winning and by Jack Welch, and you talk about how to motivate people and lead and run a team at a very successful, scalable level. But every originator is their own team leader. Even if it's just your own business that you're working on, that's your team, that's your business, that's your community. And people look to us as experts, which is why it blows me away that all these expert originators are afraid to get on video. Like the whole fear of public speaking is crazy. This isn't public speaking. Would you not talk to someone next to you in the grocery store line about what you do and offering them a mortgage? Of course you would. Sorry, I can't talk to you because I don't like video. I can't talk to you. Sue Witter is like, I didn't even shower today on my video with you guys, and she didn't want to go live. Like she tried to reschedule and I'm like, Sue, I need to do it. And yeah, she got on. I mean, she looked great, but it was amazing.
It was funny.
Yeah. But it's like, we're the expert, we're the team leader, and we're the ones that are trying to build and scale our teams and grow our communities. So, I would just key in on that. And, but motivation is something you can't teach. And we all have our days, where we're down, for me, it's 5 days in a row, lack of sleep, maybe a little hungover, but nothing like espresso to fix the whole deal. Right. So,
the passion for what you do.
Yeah. I love helping people. And this is, twice in 1 week, you're like, let's get together. I'm like, let's do it. Like you just ask me,
Well, this is the first one, guys. So hopefully you got value from this. If you got value, give it a like, share it with your leadership team, share it with your team, get a takeaway from that. A takeaway I just had, and I think it's pretty consistent, that leaders are learners. Here's a guy that is very busy, operates at a high level, but he's still consuming content. He's filling his mind with positivity, things that are making him better and smarter. And for all you loan officers out there, this is the time to do less news, Netflix, more Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, whatever your favorite book is, a book that's going to make you better, that's going to make you happier, it's going to make you execute well. Like, be more thoughtful about what you're consuming mentally right now, because there is a lot of there's a lot to consume that will not help you serve families better and will not make you a more successful loan officer. And it's too important time right now. So any closing thoughts for you?
There's someone watching that's 24 years old that's going to be the #1 originator in America. or run a company. And you just have to, just take the steps, manage your time, continually learn, and just keep growing. This is it's an abundant amount of business, communities to serve, things to learn, and it's never ending. And I just honored and thankful you had me on your Facebook Live and your community. So
Yeah, well, I can't let you get the last word, so I usually I'd wrap this up now, but
I'm gonna steal your
yeah,
clap.
no, but I just interviewed someone who's still bringing new loan officers in, and that's another thing I would remind everybody, guys. It's tough out there right now, but the mortgage business is the best industry, and new folks don't have the expectations of other folks. So I still think it's a great time to bring in new loan officers.
Amen.
We've got a great playbook on our blog for new loan officers, and let's still bring in new blood. Thank you, brother.
Man, thank you.
All right, I did get the last word.
Cheers.
Take care, everybody.